And we're Black. Thank you all for watching and tuning in to another installment of Black Issues, live from my living room. I've been watching the Emmys. They've nominated 35 Blacks. Not one has won yet. Eddie Murphy won, actually. So sorry, one won. But I find it very interesting. Schitt's Creek has won basically everything that they have been nominated for, including one for the Blacks. Eddie Murphy won. I love John Oliver, so he won. But I just find it all very, very odd. I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't need it. I have enough going on. So Kerry Washington now. Let's continue to make some predictions. You know, what do we think is? I mean, what do we think should happen? What do we think is going to happen? You know, I don't know what to think anymore. I guess I have to watch Schitt's Creek because I mean, and that's the thing with racism that like you don't really know. You know what I'm saying? Is that show really the best show? Is it the funniest show, Schitt's Creek, or is it just white and racist and the white people who are the nominators and in the Academy they only get those jokes and so boom that wins, and then this other stuff is not insecure, all that stuff is like, well, what's that? And then they just don't ever win. I do want Regina King to win. I love The Watchmen. I think it's a genius show. That I will say.
What is there to risk? I'm taking a risk.
I do think that The Watchmen is the best. So we'll see we'll see who wins. I'm really curious at this point because I find it a little bizarre.
One of you is about to receive a knock on your door.
A knock on your door.
It'll be Chinese food.
Oh, wow.
The Emmy
goes to
Regina King.
Regina King. Well, that made sense. You know what I'm saying? That like Regina was billed to win. The Watchmen is a really good show. She looks great. I love Regina. She's like a literal goddess. Look at her. She looks great. I'm really thrilled for Regina King. So dope. She's wearing Breonna Taylor.
Oh, my sisters, Kerry Washington, Octavia Spencer,
yes.
Kira House, Kate
That's
Blanchett.
right.
It's an honor to be in this category.
She looks amazing.
I truly love being
She's crying.
Thank you, Television Academy,
yes.
for choosing me to represent the thespian community.
So dope. So dope.
And Lindelof.
I'm so thrilled for her.
Man, thank you for your brilliant mind. Thank you for choosing all of us to join this journey as you stepped outside of your comfort zone and led us on a journey where we could bring art to.
I love it.
Truth to power.
Truth to power.
Team, Stacy, Nick, Cord, Claire, Lila, Crystal, Carly, Peter, Roth, Warner Brothers, Casey Bloys, and HBO. Oh, gotta vote. I would be remiss not to mention that being a part of a show is prescient as Watchmen. Have a voting plan. Go to ballotpedia.com. Vote up the ballot, please.
Vote up the ballot.
And find out
so I'm so thrilled that Regina King won. Like, I love her. How many people have ever watched The Watchmen before? Do you get it? I've watched every episode of The Watchmen. I have no idea what I'm watching, but I love it. So this is great for her. Kerry Washington, Octavia Butler. So they show all the other Black nominees first, like in a little cluster of them. They hire a Black DJ. This is, Ellen does the same thing. She's going to make her little Black DJ co-executive producer of her show and then have Tiffany Haddish be the first guest. And I'm just like, why Tiffany Haddish? This is why Black people don't win. It's because we willingly, give up our power and we want to like co-sign white people who, don't see our true value, don't want to give up the reins until it's a crisis, and then we're there to do cleanup duty. I'm done with it. I'm just done with it. I'm on YouTube and Facebook Live at Black Issues. Now, will anybody Black win the Emmys? And Black Issues. I'm like quiet, right? It's like a meditation. Whatever. Click, 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 whatever. And whatever. And bloop. We're on. So, oh, great. Welcome, everyone. So, breaking news. Regina King. Love you all Black for watching and tuning in. Tell me where you're watching from. I'm Canadian Eye Holder, live from my living room in Harlem. Let's make some predictions. Who do you think will continue to win? There's still a few more categories left. I think they still have to do Best Dramatic Male Actor. So Regina King won the Women's Actor category, and she was favored to win. And I love Regina King. So tell me where you're watching from. Tell me what your predictions are. Tell me if you're like heartbroken so far. People who you thought would win didn't win. Shows you wanted to win didn't win. So far, you know, like I said, Schitt's Creek has won basically everything. Even like Eddie Murphy got like a fucking Emmy for being on Schitt's Creek. You know, he's Black. So, you know, I have my issues with award shows because again, it's white. It's a white institution. It's mostly white nominators. I actually know someone who is one of the who's in the Academy who nominates people. Tracy Baker Jones, Tracy Baker Simmons, and she's been on one of my previous Black Issues broadcasts, the one that I did, Divided Democrats. So she's actually in the Academy. So right before this time, like a little bit last year around the same time, she and I were hanging out for When They See Us. You know, so she goes to all of the Emmy nominating screenings. So, yeah, we met with Ava DuVernay, all the cast from When They See Us. I'm trying to think of all the other shows. We went to see Patriot Acts, which is now canceled, but at the time it was nominated for an Emmy. Yeah, so it's like really, really like it's a fascinating process. It shows this Genius Aretha. That looks good. National Geographic. Wow, everybody's getting into TV now. Go. So, you know, my issue is to what degree are shows that are Black or people who are Black, anything Black, to what degree is room being created? Because that's really what it is, right? White people have the power, right? They control the narrative. They have the power to curate, right? To produce, right? So to what degree are people given a chance now because they validly deserve it versus, you know, okay, here, give a dog a bone, you know? So I think all out, like Regina King won because she's amazing. Like she's amazing. She's amazing. She deserves to win. And that's it. You know, I was watching Channel E earlier and there's, you know, there's like some, you know, like, I won't even say frivolous. That would be mean of me to say, but like, you know, there's like a celebrity gossip show that's like a daily, it's like, I think it's called Daily Pop. It's like daily celebrity gossipy show, you know, and it's usually 3 or 4 hosts, right? So it's a white woman, it's a white gay man, sometimes it's a Black queer man, and then sometimes it's another Black woman. And so miraculously this time, the Black woman got to be the one to be the main host. So it's like, well, are you doing that now to like cover up for all the other times you didn't let Black people do anything? It's just, It's just like, this is why racism is so ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, it's, to me, white people have operated in the space of all or nothing, you know, and now that they're starting to have this racial reckoning, it's not. Oh, Jesus, that's scary. Are you doing that now? God, that was scary. Okay, wow. Okay, all up in my business. So is it an all or nothing, or can we have an actual sincere space where it's like, okay, like, you're the best, and we know that that's the case, and not because you feel bad for the blacks, you know, you feel guilty or some other reason why somebody black gets a chance. It's just ridiculous to me. So I don't even know who's winning now. Michael Ruffalo, limited series. So that means he beat out Jeffrey Wright and everybody else.
And beautiful people. I want to thank HBO. I'm coming to you from
I love HBO, by the way. If anybody knows HBO and how they can get me on HBO, please let me know.
HBO, thank you so much.
HBO, I've been saying this for years. Even with Netflix and everything else, Hulu, HBO really is like a hit maker. So thank you all for watching and tuning into Black Issues. I'm Canadian Eye Holder, the anti-racist personal trainer too. Boom, knock out racism. However racist you think the world is, it's way more racist than we will ever know. So we got to really be ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom. You know what I'm saying? We got to be trained, and we got to be really like, you know, floating like a butterfly, singing like a bee. So thank you all so much for watching and tuning in. Let me know, again, what your Emmy predictions are. Are there some shows you wanted to win that didn't win? Actors you wanted to win that didn't win? It's been pretty much a washout. It's been pretty much like Schitt's Creek all night long, which makes me want to watch it, because it's just like, okay, well, you know, I'm not in a little cul-de-sac of blackness. Like, I only get black things, I only watch black things. Not to say that that's a liability, because sometimes black people have been brainwashed to devalue their blackness, right? Like, no, I don't do that. I want to, you know, they want to do everything white. I'm like, I don't do that either. However, I can say that I can appreciate anything. You know what I'm saying? And so with that said, I will watch this Creek, because I want to, this shit better make me laugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I'm like, oh, you know. So tell me who you are. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me, you know, your thoughts on the Emmys. It's pretty much been a washout, you know, again, except for Regina King and Eddie Murphy. 2 stars that have been in Hollywood for, oh my God, like 30 years, you know, at least. More than 30 years. So yeah, I mean, he's Mark Ruffalo. I mean, he's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hating against him. Let's hear what he has to say if he goes on a speech.
Be a country of division.
Boom.
Hatred.
I called it right. I was like, he's probably doing a speech.
People
yep.
Are all going to be one of love and strength and fighting for those, all of us have the American dream and the pursuit of life.
I knew it, right? I was like, he's probably doing a speech. I was like, that's what he's doing.
That's what we're facing right now. So get out and vote, make a
plan,
and vote for love and compassion and kindness.
There you go.
I love you all. Thank you so much. And God bless you.
Woo! So there we go. So only 2 blacks.
That was nice.
Only 2 blacks have won.
Let's do it. Next, to present the Emmy for Outstanding Writing for a Limited Series or Movie, please welcome Randall Park.
So I don't know if any black shows are even in this category. This is the writing category, right? So, you know, even less likely, you know, you might get a nomination for black performance, but not really for a black writing show.
For instance, I learned that the COVID transmission rate between humans and alpacas is very
alpaca.
low.
I'm wrong.
I also learned that when you read an email too quickly, the phrase "you're presenting with an alpaca" looks a lot like the phrase "you're presenting with Al Pacino."
Nice. That's funny. That's funny.
Anyway, here are the nominees.
And I like the awkwardness. That actually was good.
For a limited series or movie.
Sally Rooney, Alice Birch, Normal People, episode.
Okay, so that's a white show. Let's see what else happens. And this show, I hear, also got rave reviews on Hulu.
Susanna Grant, Michael Schaefer, I Yell at Broadway, Unbelievable, episode 1. I'm pretty positive that it happened.
Pretty positive, more positive.
Maybe I blocked it out. Anna Winger, Unorthodox, Part 1.
Ich bin Englischstudentin.
So, like I said,
Damon Lindelof, Cord Jefferson, Watchmen, this extraordinary being.
okay, so Watchmen will probably, I predict that Watchmen's gonna
You
win.
gonna get it with that hood.
That's what I predict.
Sure.
Why am I the only one at this convention who thinks a black woman being president is worth the run?
Shirley Chisholm, why? Shirley Chisholm was Caribbean. Why do they use an African American accent? I don't know. But anyway.
No.
Okay.
And the Emmy goes to
Watchmen.
Damon Lindelof, Cord Jefferson, Watchmen.
Told you. Woo! Yeah, this is dope. So he has an interesting story. He's half black, half white. He has a very interesting story about his childhood.
So we want to thank Crystal Henry, Jeff Jensen,
He's
Carly Ray,
so dope.
Tom Speziali, Janine Neighbors, Nick Hughes.
And that's why he's so like race centered in his work, is because of his the divorce between his mother and his father, and it's a whole thing with him.
We sent you scripts with Squid Rain and Jeremy Irons farting in space.
He's dope.
I'm
so happy. I love Watchmen. I don't know what I'm watching, but I love watching it.
Who all were amazing in the episode. Thank you to my mother.
Yeah, told you. He's estranged from his.
I love you very much.
Yeah, he was estranged, but I think he made up for it now.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the script. Thank you to Derek and Trey Jefferson. Thank you to my therapist, Ian. I am a different man than I was 2 years ago.
Told you.
You have changed my life in many ways. Therapy should be free in this country. And lastly, I think I would be remiss if we didn't recognize.
And y'all hear? Is it loud
all
enough?
men and women who died in the Tulsa Massacre in 1921.
Boom.
The original sin of our show. This country neglects and forgets its own history.
That's right.
At its own peril.
That's right.
And I think
Boom.
that we should never forget them. So thank you so much for this honor.
I'm so happy. I love this show. Oh my God. So there we go. There you have it.
All right, y'all. After this
There you have it.
handed out Emmys for supporting actor and actress in a limited series or movie, and more to come on the Emmys.
And I'm trying to remember if there's any blacks in that category, but we'll find out because I was watching before. So thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for watching and tuning into Black Issues. Continue to make your Emmy predictions with me. Who do you think is going to win? Who did you want to win? Who are you like you thought they would win, even though you don't think they should win, kind of a thing? You know, I read somewhere. Okay, so tell me y'all who's watching. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me what your predictions are. So again, I did a lot of research about the Emmys. I posted it on Instagram, the history of like blacks that won the Emmys. And I took a lot of care to like make sure that I was representing like a lot of people that I love, some people who are our ancestors now that are Blackons, including Flip Wilson, Cicely Tyson, Diane Carroll, Robert Guillaume, Harry Belafonte is still with us. So, you know, when I'm thinking about with these award shows and where we move forward, is that I think that people should continue to create for the sake of creating, and not create to try to win to check whatever box they think needs to be checked in order for this Academy Award, you know, nominee. Like do your content for the sake of your content, because the Academy is like 3 generations behind racially, like racial awareness wise, that we are on the ground, right? So I have another friend who does this amazing, his name is Jeffrey, who does this amazing, again, he actually doesn't call what he does diversity, he calls it change management. And he writes these white papers. And so he said that corporate America is 2 to 3 steps behind racially what America is culturally. So we're like in the streets like Black Lives Matter, right? And we're like, yeah, things are happening, right? And then we think, and then we look at corporate America and it's just like, it's not really actually, it hasn't really made a dent yet, right? So I think that is also applicable to, you know, the Academy Awards, to the way that schools admit students, you know, that there's certain sectors of society that are independent from, you know, John Q. Public and like the court of public opinion and it's still very like, again, incremental, right? That's why I have, where is he? Here he goes. Cookie Monster, right? With all these little all these crumbs, right? So, you know, I'm just fascinated to see what shows and what actors remaining in the categories for this evening will actually win. You know, Insecure is a thing. You know, I really loved Atlanta. I think Atlanta is like hilarious. I think it's just, it's sublime. You know, but like if we could like rewind the tape, go back in time, you know, did In Living Color win a whole bunch of Emmys? They should have. You know, there's the, you know, it different world. Did Different World win some Emmys? They should have. You know, and it's just an interesting referendum on our need for significance versus we just do what we do, and you know, you do it from your heart, and your heart resonates on a much more on a stronger and, you know, level than these arbiters of what is and what isn't, you know, the best. It's just an interesting system. It's an interesting story. It's an interesting time that we're in, you know, and like, to what degree are people winning because they're really good versus give a dog a bone? And so with that being said, that like, well, what do you say when Schitt's Creek won everything? You know, everything. Is that the Academy saying, hey, look, you know, we know this whole Black Lives Matter thing is a thing, but we're not going to just give Black people awards just because they're Black. Like, you know, we'll nominate you, but we're gonna choose what we think is the best, right? Which I can also respect, right? Like you know, you don't want to get to the point where you're like woke washing and pandering and going totally in a different direction, because then the Emmy and the prestige loses all of its cachet. So I don't know.
The station. When I look down on the planet,
And Westwood hasn't won anything yet. I find that interesting as well.
We should cherish the things we have in common, because there's far more that unites us.
Oh Lord! Now they're trying to sit there and say that racism doesn't matter from outer space.
International Space Station. Have a great evening, and let's get back to the show.
Commander Cassidy
Wow.
obviously has no idea what's going on down here right now. Take us with you. Some of our nominees are watching the show together tonight, including Kerry Washington and her fellow nominee, Reese Witherspoon.
Cute.
Hi, Reese. Hi, Kerry.
So I guess different studios sponsored them having their own like mini watch party together. I think that's cool. Schitt's Creek did that. Right.
Why?
That's so cute.
Well, because
We're done. Yeah, they're done with 2020. That's funny. Is my TV loud enough? Can you all hear me? Just comment and let me know if you can.
Emmy-nominated television producers.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Very interesting. Wow, it looks like a great party.
Kerry Washington is
Yeah,
dope.
so
She's cool.
10, 9, 8, 7.
But it's not even midnight.
That's so cute. I think that's funny. It's cute.
Yeah.
Happy New Year! Woo!
Happy New Year, guys.
That's cute. So thank you all for watching and tuning in to Black Issues, Canadian Idol holder, the anti-racist personal trainer to knock out racism. Comment below. Tell me what your predictions are.
Emmy category is outstanding directing for a limited
Who do you
series.
think is going to win? Are you disappointed with who already has won? So Little Fires Everywhere is probably going to win at least one thing. I'm going to tell you all that tonight.
Episode 5. Maria Schrader, Unorthodox. Stephen Williams.
The Watchmen.
This extraordinary.
It's tight because The Watchmen really is favored to win.
It's summer and we're running out of ice. Steph Green, Watchmen. Little Fear of Lightning.
Okay. Watchmen's going to take this category. I thought it might have been Little Fires Everywhere, but I think
The Emmy goes
it's going to go to somebody from Watchmen.
Maria Schroeder, Unorthodox.
It's too heavy to drop.
This is so unexpected. It's been so incredible already these past few months when we've all been in the lockdown and seeing our show traveling the world.
No comment.
Being nominated.
Remember in the cover?
Emmys,
Hated it.
like a coronation, and now this. I'm speechless. I thank the Academy of Television, and I, of course, first of all, thank my partners, Anna Winger and Alexa Karolinsky, the creators of the show, for inviting and trusting me to direct it. I want to thank Netflix and specifically Rachel Egby.
Can somebody please comment? Because I think something's off tonight that I am not getting any comments at all. I'm like, what the hell is happening?
Support and, of course, all the team, and I want to mention
I don't believe this.
just a few of them who essentially helped to shape the show and make it became what it is. And this is director of photography Wolfgang Thaler, production designer Silke Fischer, the editors Hans-Jörg Weisbrich and Gesa Jäger. And they've been so beautiful, like the whole team, and of course Sheila, Amit.
I'm just seeing what the hell's going on.
Thank you for letting me have such an intimate contact and work with you. It's been adventurous to do this powerful and at the same time delicate story. Thank you.
I'm Caroline Nelson. I'm a shepherd and a rancher here in Townsend, Montana. I've always known that farmers and ranchers are tough, but that has never been more apparent than through the pandemic. And I think if everybody knew where one, part of their meal came from, if they knew they're a farmer that raised that food, the world would be a little bit of a happier place. I'm so honored to be representing farmers and ranchers
This is fun.
tonight as I present the nominees.
I'm just trying to figure out
for
why
Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Limited
my
Series
poster,
Dylan McDermott, Hollywood. Jim Parsons, Hollywood. Titus Burgess.
why my
Unbreakable
poster
Kimmy
being
Schmidt, Kimmy versus
Kimmy
the Rest.
Schmidt.
Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Watchmen. Jovan
Watchmen.
Adepo, Watchmen.
Jovan.
Louis Gossett Jr.,
Watchmen. It might be Louis Gossett Jr. It might be Louis.
Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Watchmen.
Well, I knew it was going to be something from Watchmen. I've been saying that Watchmen, how many people have watched Watchmen before? Some people are confused because it's nothing like the Marvel comic book. And I'm like, get over that. Like, just watch it. It's really good. Oh, didn't I say he would win, the younger one? I said that, right? I was like, between him and Louis, and I was like, maybe Louis, but no, this is good.
I want to say thank you first off to my mama and my daddy.
He's like, my mama and my daddy.
Man, I'm surprised.
Man,
to my siblings,
siblings,
squad, I love y'all.
my tribe.
Right now on Zoom.
Yeah.
And I love y'all so much.
Okay.
I want to give a big shout out to all the West Oakland, all of New Orleans, the Mac.
Okay.
Projects.
All right. Hold it down. Represent. Yeah.
I love y'all so much.
I'm just trying to figure out my Facebook.
Thank
It's
you
like
so much to
weird.
HBO, to David Lindelof.
Tell y'all about
for his
HBO,
work,
y'all.
for the
HBO
creativity.
is
Thank you so much
idiots.
for Nikki for taking care of me. For Regina for being the best scene partners that I
That's
cast
right.
for. Watchmen was a story about trauma. It was a story about the lasting scars of white domestic violence. It was white domestic terrorism, pardon me. It was a story about police corruption and brutality. But in the midst of all that, it was also a story about a God who came down to earth to reciprocate to a Black woman all the love that she deserved. He'd offer her sacrifice and support.
See, he's breaking down the purpose of the show.
Protection. And he did all that in the body of a Black man. And I'm so proud that I was able to walk into those shoes. So I dedicate this award to all the Black women in my life.
That's right.
The people who believed in me first. I call you my early investors. I love you. I
That's
appreciate
right.
you.
That's right.
And this one is for you. Thank you.
Woo!
Many of us have been cooped up at home for months now. We've all been passing the quarantine in our own way. So we asked some of our favorite TV stars to share what they've been up to since everything went to hell.
Hey. All right, something happened with my Facebook that it was all private, really weird.
What?
Like I didn't ask for that.
Things prove themselves?
Facebook.
Most actors have benefited from the fact that we should all now be wearing a mask.
Public. All right, I think everything's clear now.
The exact opposite.
So weird. Thank you for your patience. Finally. Oh my God. So that was a friggin' problem. It had my shit on private. Weird.
Wiping down groceries.
Rick, can't you do something about this?
All right, so let me see.
How much money we're saving on
Film Joe. Where's the Watchman Party? Studios only paying for white party. Oh, I love my audience. You guys are hilarious. I was like, why is nobody watching me? I'm cute. What it is my shit was on private. But y'all like how calm I was about that whole thing, right? Like, okay, I'm going to work this out. You know, no one's watching me. I'm talking to myself on a camera, but I'm not crazy, and I'm not going to drive myself insane. But yeah, that was the fucking problem. Thanks, Facebook, for arbitrarily making all my shit private. Why? Because I'm Black and I speak my mind? Ridiculous. You are hilarious, Film Joe. Hilarious. Yeah, you're hilarious. I love that question about, like, yeah, you noticed that, right? Like Schitt's Creek has this whole thing. The Little Fires Everywhere had their thing. The Watchmen is just like, oh, living room, you know. So, and again, because of racism, it can't just be randomly. No, they didn't want it. It always is another layer of thinking and analysis as to why something is or isn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so bizarre, you know? So, oh, here we go. I mean, I'm really thrilled about The Watchmen, though. I love The Watchmen. See, look, they got a Black DJ. So, listen, Blakes, you might not have won every category, but you got a Black DJ, okay? You got the DJ.
The 72nd Emmy Award.
Hey, dance with me. Oh.
Kia, introducing the first ever Kia K5. Out with the old, in with the turbocharged.
Oh. All right, so I'm going to mute it. And let's have an actual conversation. I'm going to drink some wine. And you can have, you know, a sip of wine, you know, in your own little way, or maybe not. Oh, here it goes. I lie. It's not wine. I don't drink wine. I drink water. I drink water in glass bottles. So that's what I'm going to drink. And cheers to that. So thank you all for watching and tuning into Black Issues. I'm the anti-racist personal trainer. My name is Kanani Aya Holder. Boom. I'm here to knock out racism, right? So Watchmen will win big. Yeah. I think that when I read about, you know, I did a lot of research about the Emmys this year. You know, again, you know, with Black Lives Matter on Rise, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? You know, well, clearly they didn't give a fuck, and they still had fucking Jimmy Kimmel host again. He's hosted the Oscars and the Emmys. I'm just like, he's lame. So the predictions were that Schitt's Creek could sweep, and I remember reading that, and I was like, well, I don't know, you know, like, okay, you know, I heard about Schitt's Creek, but I know I'm so bougie about it. I heard about Schitt's Creek, but okay. Last year, like I said, I have a friend who is in the Academy. And so she used to, well, we would have been this year going to all the Emmy. So people who are in the Academy, two things happen to them. They get every freaking show that's out. They still do old school like DVDs, because it's like this whole secure thing where it's like all encrypted, and they like mail it to them, and they have to watch everything, because then they can say, okay, in all of these different categories, this is who we're going to nominate. So that's how it happens. And then if you're in New York or LA, you get to go to actual screenings. So in New York, I I guess in like early September, or I don't even, is it early September? I don't remember when we used to, I don't even know. We used to go. How about that? We used to go, Paley Center. There's all these like screen, SVA. There's all these places where you would screen all of these shows, and then you get to meet the actors. Why? Because they want to like schmooze up all the people in the academy and vote for us, vote for us, vote for us. So I remember I met a whole bunch of people from Surviving R. Kelly. I met Michael Douglas, like old fucking school Hollywood. Michael just walked by. Whatever the Kaminsky, whatever his show is on, I think it's Netflix, whatever show he's on. So yeah, they're all there, and they all want to schmooze. But I think the interesting thing is there's not that many people of color that are in the academy. The academy is still 80%. 80% of the nominators in the academy are whites. So they're already coming with this lens of, well, we already know what we like, what we don't like. We're not even going to go attend those screenings. Get it? So that's why it kind of replicates a certain, it doesn't push the envelope too much. They stay very safe in their little narrow view of what works and what doesn't work, because, and that's why Schitt's Creek probably won everything, that's what I'm thinking, because the shit don't, I mean, the shit, pun intended, doesn't make any sense. But let me see what you all have to say. Film Joe says, yeah, why do they keep getting Jimmy Kimmel to present? Yeah. So again, Hollywood is a white institution. So they're very comfortable in the, it gets to the point where it's not racist. It's just the way things need to be, because it's Hollywood. It's this very, so then prestige replaces racism. Y'all see what I'm saying? So because we need to preserve a certain level of like how things go and flow, then we can only trust ABC 123 people to then do this thing called hosting or nominating in the academy or even presenting. And so that's why the shows look the way they fucking do, from the people who win to the people who are nominated to the presenters to the the host. I mean, that's it. What do you think of the recent Oscar diversity thing? Oh, you mean that thing that won't really kick in for another like 10 years or something? The writers, I mean, that's been in the works. Well, this is Tracy Morgan. So let me do that, and I'll get to that. Thank you so much, Video Store Review. Give me a second.
You remember Dick Tracy? Yes. Yeah. You remember Dick Tracy?
So then they're gonna have the blacks be on there, but just to talk crazy.
You did? You had and I covered the whole East Coast leg of Tracy Chapman's store.
So you notice this, right? They're gonna have black people as like a sideshow. They're gonna have Tracy Morgan talk, but they're not gonna have him ever host. This is exactly what I'm talking about. That like prestige gets to gets to replace racism, and it's like, well, we can't have him host. He's not prestigious enough. So that's basically what I was just saying.
Uzo Aduba, Mrs. America.
So she won?
Wow. Okay.
Okay, good.
Wow. Oh my God. I just want to say,
good.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you very, very much.
So I'll get to your comment as soon as this part is over.
Thank you to the women that I worked with on Mrs. America across the board, along with the women here in this category: Margot, Tracy, Jean, Holland, Tony. I love you ladies. You are all exceptional.
Oh, hey, David.
I want to say a tremendous thank you to FX,
so,
the producers, Stacy, Coco, who made this.
This is actually really exciting. You know what I'm saying? It's exciting to know that.
Waller, our creator, to Tanya, the writer of the episode.
Look how she has Breonna Taylor on her T-shirt, right? So I think it's exciting. And I'm not just saying this because somebody black won. Like, You know, I just think I like that show, Mrs. America. Like, I like the fact that it's rectifying the narrative of white women and in this like quest for feminism. And I'm like, well, it's your own white men that are oppressing you, white women. Like, black men were not oppressing you. It's your own white man that wants to oppress everybody on this planet. And then you, white women, did not want to also give any credence to black women who were also, you know, fighting for suffrage, fighting for liberation, fighting for equal pay. So I like the fact that this show did win. Good. Good. It's exciting. That's so dope. Is she gonna come back with her mommy? Well, they cut it off. So I'll turn it down. Let me see. So Anthony Anderson. That means he's not gonna win tonight, because y'all know that that's how that goes. Like if you're presenting, you're not gonna win. So that's already been accounted for. And more Black Sideshow. More Black Sideshow. They could have him host the Emmys. Look. See? Sideshow. Record Black nominees.
Oh. And
oh, you're so sweet, David.
All right, these Emmys would have been All-Star. These Emmys would have been NBA All-Star Weekend and Wakanda, all wrapped in one.
Corny.
This was supposed to be the blackest Emmys ever. Y'all wouldn't have been able to handle how black it was going to be.
I hate this.
But because of COVID, we can't even get in the damn building.
Oh, thank you, Anthony.
Yeah, these Emmys would have been so black. It would have been like
again,
hot sauce in your purse black.
Black Sideshow.
Howard University homecoming black.
And I went to Howard.
You fit the description black.
Well,
that was funny.
I'm sorry that it wasn't that. It
y'all can hear, right? It's loud enough.
We would have had speeches quoting our great poets like Maya Angelou, Langston Hughes, Cardi B, Jimmy.
Oh, they bleeped that whole thing.
Oh, the song. Oh, yeah, totally.
They bleeped that whole thing.
Instead of that sexy melanated energy, here I am,
ranting,
alone in a sterilized green room, trying not to sneeze on a llama. What a damn shame.
Actually, an alpaca.
All right, don't white-splain it to me, Jimmy. It should have been a pit bull. But
why did he agree to do this? Because it's horrible.
Tonight. This isn't what it should have been, Jimmy. But you know what?
We're relegated to a fucking sideshow.
Because black stories, black performances, and
Black
lives matter.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. Black Ape.
Black lives matter. Louder, Jimmy.
Yeah, this is planned. All of it's planned and scripted. It's terrible. This actually reinforces the degree to which we are on the periphery and in no way, shape, or form a threat to power. Look at this.
People will stay at home tonight to be safe, which is fine because guess what? Y'all don't know how to light us anyway. No.
I wrote about that in my post, that the lighting for black people is also off historically.
I'm appreciative that you've given me a safe space to say this from.
No, it's my pleasure. You know that. Yes.
Could you scoot over so I can stand on this star?
Where is Sammy Davis Jr.? Right. What is this? What is this?
Here are the nominees.
Sideshow. Sideshow.
Unorthodox. I come from a community.
And watch for all that ranting. Watch.
Why not?
Whichever, watch it be that like this category, either one doesn't have anybody black in it, or two, somebody white is gonna win. For all that anger and vitriol. Yes, of the issues. Film Joe, where have you been all my life? So Watchmen will win.
Untied with your hands, with your toes.
It's so silly. Yeah, it is.
And why'd you tell Connor you used your toes?
This is America. You just did that.
This is America. I said I like that one. So let's do predictions, y'all. Predictions. Where's my crystal ball? It's so huge. You think I know where it is?
Little fires everywhere. She really doesn't leave a baby.
Predictions, y'all.
In the cold inside a fire station. You didn't make good choices. You had good choices. Options that being rich and white and entitled gave you.
Ooh. Ooh. So So what is this category again? Best what? Best
And
woman?
The Emmy goes to
Best something. Best woman something.
Watchmen.
But I told y'all that Watchmen was gonna win everything and Schitt's Creek was gonna win everything. I already said that, so I'm not surprised.
Y'all tested, I swear. Thank you to the Academy for this incredible recognition, to our fellow nominees.
Which one is This Is America?
To Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons,
The
to
music
Tana
video
Hopkins
that
for their
Donald Glover
inspiration,
did.
To HBO and Warner Brothers for their unblinking
I don't know if that's a
support.
typo.
To our partners,
There's
our
a show called
spouses,
This Is
and our
America, because if
children,
so, I haven't
the
watched it.
Canadian
Shit, I
band,
need to watch it.
who tolerated our absence and enabled our presence. And thank you to every single person who invested 9 hours of their life into Watchmen. I knew.
I've been
this was
telling
never
people
my
who've been
story
sleeping
to
on
tell. The
Watchmen
only
for
reason
years.
I'm
I'm like,
standing here now
Watchmen
because of
is
the people who are standing
it.
alongside me, the ones who are zooming and zapping in from around the world.
So I'll get to all of
They
your
tell
comments
their
on
stories.
commercial, and y'all
And
are
it is
coming
one
up
of
with
the
like
great
awesome.
honors of my
I
life
love you all
to
for all of your
accept on
comments,
their
by the way.
behalf, and I'd like to share what I've learned from them along the way.
Okay.
History is mystery. It is broken into a million puzzle pieces, and many are missing.
Boom.
We know where those pieces are, but we don't seek them out because we know finding them will hurt.
Boom.
Sometimes we cause that hurt.
Like
Maybe
my
we even
microphone?
benefited from it, but we have to name it before we can repair it.
Boom.
Be
Watchmen.
careful, be clumsy, run hot, stay cool.
Yeah.
Be the bull in the china shop. Pick up what you broke and glue it back together.
Beautiful.
Don't stop until it's great. Affirm. It's never great enough. Dissent. Be consistent. Embrace paradox. Never contradict yourself.
Beautiful.
And finally, stop worrying about getting canceled and ask yourself what you're doing to get renewed. We dedicate this award to the victims and survivors of the Tulsa Massacre of 1921. The fires that destroyed Black Wall Street still burn today. The only way to put them out is if we all
Oh,
fight
you're
them
so
together.
sweet,
God
Film
bless.
Joe.
Stay safe, and thank you for this. I'm gonna go.
Woo! Oh my God, I'm like about to cry. Like that was such a. Oh, beautiful music.
Emmy Award-winning actress Cynthia Erivo.
Oh. Dun, 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 dun. Wow. That was such a beautiful speech, right? They're gonna like translate that speech or like transcript it. I love that speech. That speech just made my night. I told you, Watchmen is it, y'all. She's dope too, and she also has like a lot of controversy because she's actually African.
To our world, we deserve to see our own reflection.
I like it.
Lena Waithe is an unstoppable.
I don't like the sleeves though. I think it makes it look manly, and I know that's like very gendered, but
even when the world
it's not flattering. How about that? It's a better way of. So what they're gonna do is highlight Black creators, but not reward them with an award. So that's what they're doing. Black Sideshow. That's gonna be in the name of my blog about the Emmys. Black Sideshow.
Growing up, I watched a ton of TV.
So we'll get to all these comments as soon as it's over.
Household. My mother, my grandmother, and television. I remember watching A Different World, and a very, young Jada Pinkett said her name. She said, "My name is Lena James." And of course, I'm watching it with my family, and they, of course, all gasped at the same time. And it was such a moment that really felt like the universe
It was such a good
speaking to
speech.
me and saying, "Yes, you, talking to you, Lena."
Yeah.
So I just really felt seen in a way that I hadn't ever felt seen before. I still think
Again,
there's
Black
a lot
Sideshow.
more territory to be covered in terms of intersectionality.
Basically,
with
let them
Black
talk,
men,
but we're not going to award them. We're going to give them some talk time.
don't
Look,
necessarily
Black
reflect
Sideshow.
our lives, because that's the only way I think we're really going to grow as a society. I think that even if I get something wrong or somebody doesn't like the way I do something, I reserve the right to do
Again,
it
I'm not
my
mocking
way.
her. I'm just
You
saying,
at least earn
but
the
I'm
right to tell
noticing,
stories
again, they
the way we should tell.
curating, they're giving permission.
On Friday,
You go
we
talk
lost
for a little
great
while.
American. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a compassionate and tireless champion of equality and justice who said her legacy was to make life a little better for people less fortunate than she. Sounds like pretty good words to live by to me. We lost many beloved.
Why is he the
luminaries
host?
this year, and it's
Why
time
are we
to
listening
honor
to
and
you?
remember the
Why
people
should we
who
care?
made an indelible
Is this
mark on
sick?
those of us who watch and work in television. Here to pay
Shut
musical
up.
tribute to them, please welcome her.
John Oliver always beats out Jimmy Kimmel. Why is it that they never have John Oliver host? I would prefer John Oliver. But you know, what was his name? Richie.
And that's all I can
I
do.
can't. Oh, then now they're showing all the other people who died. Love away. Vroom, 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 I'm gonna look up the comedian that I'm talking about that they had hosts and then they were like, don't never him again, because he was real and raw. So they like Jimmy Kimmel because he sticks to the script. And I don't want to disrespect the dead, so I will be quiet while all these pictures flash and I go to your comments on commercial. Love you all, Black, for watching. In a fancy restaurant, but nothing can take away these blues. Nothing compares. Nothing compares to you. But I mean, you can even see in like the people that they're highlighting that died, who these people are and what their titles are. Even this will tell you what Hollywood actually is, right? So just keep watching. I love her. She's beautiful. Woo! Wow. Woo! This is crazy to watch, like all these people, you know, and like life is so precious and it's so short, and it's like, well, what do you do, John Witherspoon? What do you do with the time that you have on Earth that you're blessed with, and what impact are you making? Like, it's a lot. Like I'm literally about to cry. It's just so beautiful to me. Wow. Thank you all so much for watching and tuning in. Like I just Diane Carroll, let's go. If you're following Black Issues on Instagram, I have a post about Diane Carroll in my Black Emmy post. She's in there. Carl Reiner, that's huge too. That's, yeah. Janet DeVoe, yep. Kirk Douglas, yep. Some big people, man.
Purpose crosses discipline. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history.
Yeah.
The struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose.
So, Chad. I went to Howard with Chad. You know, Chad is what, 43? I'm 40. So I was just 1 year below him. He was a sophomore when I was a freshman. So I absolutely knew Chad. And all right, it's gonna go to commercial. So beautiful. Yeah.
Here's to the missing one.
America's so crazy. You have this beautiful moment. This woman's on the stage, hers on the stage, like pouring her heart out, and then some random commercial for a vacuum. It's just, that's what this is, a vacuum commercial. One that I actually kind of want, because it says that it like compacts all the dirt so you can vacuum even more. I'm like, okay, LG. Anyway, so thank you all for watching and tuning into Black Issues. Literally trying to make sense of an insane world, one issue at a time. On my screen here, I have all of these different what I call my Blexicon, my Black lexicon, to talk about different issues and solutions that directly impact the Black community. I also have mugs for sale. Black Solutions, which I think if you solve Black issues, you would solve all issues of oppression on the planet. Here comes the Blackulator, calculating oppression since 1619. So I have these mugs, I have all these things. And I really, really appreciate you all are like amazing people watching tonight, because I usually do Facebook. And I haven't been on Facebook in a few days because, again, I went to Howard along with Chad, and like literally everyone on my Facebook that went to Howard, I couldn't do it anymore, because it's just like all these personal photos of them, him hanging out. It's like a lot right now. It's like really, like, I think it's an interesting thing to like mourn on social media. And sometimes I feel like it's needed. And then sometimes I think it gets to the point of, I don't want to say toxic, but just like unsustainable, or, you know, you just got to like pause and step back. So that's, so when I was live and like nobody was watching, and I was like, what the hell? It's Facebook, I guess, because I wasn't on Facebook for a few days. Facebook put my entire account on private. So it is what it is. So let me get to all of your comments. I really appreciate all of you. This is how I am. I'm always real. I'm always raw. I've been talking back and forth with Billy Porter, who apparently is like my neighbor in Harlem. And so I met him the other day at Chipotle. A funny thing happened when I wanted to go to Whole Foods to get 3 carrots and 2 rolls of toilet tissue, and I bumped into Billy, and like we've been going back and forth on Instagram DM. And you know, I told him, I said, well, why can't you should host the Emmys? You see what I'm saying? But they're the reason why you get awarded and rewarded by these institutions is not because you're necessarily the best or the brightest or the most brilliant. A lot of times the things that make you the most like attractive, meaning like, wow, like people just like, oh my God, like their mind is blown by who you are actually also a threat. So they'll have Tracy Morgan, they ain't gonna give him no award, and they're not gonna let him host. They'll have, you know, Anthony Anderson, but no, you didn't get the award. So because it's like you don't fit into, we can't control you. And this is our institution, and it's our show, and it's our Hollywood. So you don't get it. Whatever it is, you don't get it. You don't get to host. You don't get the award. You don't get it. That's basically what you're seeing. And I find it very interesting. Like I said, the Black slideshow. It's like this sideshow of Blackness that has been going on. You get to be the DJ. Okay. You know, we're going to clean up Watchmen. Right? We're only going to choose one time that we're going to say, okay, a show that has a narrative about Blackness, there's only one that's going to win. And it's going to be Watchmen, because it has something about it that we like. So little fires everywhere. Kerry Washington, good for you, but you're not going to get the award. No. And that's basically how it's a very warped sensibility. Like I'll probably, you know, I'll call my friend Tracy, who's in the Academy. And, you know, I might be able to, I probably will be able to sit there and be like, let's do a show together. Because she's already been on another one of my shows that I've done on Black issues about politics, because she was also an advisor to the Obama administration. She's just like a dope person. Like I said, she's in the Academy, and we used to go watch all of this, like all these shows. We used to go, and you go open bar, everything, liquor, food, everything. And just because of COVID, I'm fucking texting her instead of like us, like, you know, painting the town red and cabbing home. Let's hear what, oh shit, that means I didn't get to ruin my commercials. Exactly. The US is crazy. I'm watching from UK. Yeah, no, the United States is like UK. Yeah, UK has their issues too, you know. You know, I don't know if you know Barbados. Barbados was like, we're done with having the Queen of England still be like the head of Parliament. It's some like magisterial position that Barbados still had, you know, with agreements with Britain, and they were like, as of last week, they were like, no, not anymore. So this is probably some banter about absolute, like, frivolous, non-consequential, absolute nothingness. Let's unmute it and hear.
Maybe.
Yeah, like people live with their families.
Oh, this is a friends reunion.
Oh, look who it is. The host with the most rudeness. Oh, you call me, take me out of my own house too?
Wow, I didn't know Ross was there. Bateman
Told
also
you.
lives in your house?
Yeah, it's just until he goes off to college.
Notice how
You guys are killing it. This is so great.
Notice how even now they're still in that hierarchy of Jennifer being the blonde pretty one, then you have the brunette off to the side, and Lisa Kudrow, because she's blonde but not that cute, off to the bottom. Like, there's still, these narratives still are present. Hollywood is still thinking the way that they've thought since the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, whatever. I'm quick with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's still there, you know. Hollywood's not changing anytime soon. So if that answers your question about, you know, the writer with the Oscars and like what they're gonna, you know, you need, you know, there needs to be a certain amount of Black people in order for a movie to be nominated. Yeah, we're gonna play the nomination game. We're gonna play the nomination game and the Black sideshow. You know, so nominated is one thing. Are you gonna win is another thing. And again, what is the goal in order to get the actual Academy more diverse? And even so like my friend who's in the Academy, who is a Black woman, Black, love her, okay? You know, she's 50. You know what I'm saying? So what about age diversity too? You know, what about ableism? You know what I'm saying? Some people who are blind in the Academy, somebody who's deaf, and like, to what degree are you actually going to have people who are nominated, which is power, okay, also accountable to a community that doesn't have power? That's the question. So I know there's RuPaul in the background. Let's hear.
And now, please welcome the chairman and CEO of the Television Academy, Frank Sherman.
Oh, what did I just say? Oh,
Everyone.
what did I say?
Television and the
There
stories
you go.
that
I
are
just said
told
old, right? I just said they're all old.
entertaining, informing, and connecting us.
Yes.
Television is no longer just a reflection of the culture, but an invaluable part of the culture. In the midst of an unprecedented global health crisis.
Good question about the Watchmen and the producers
much more time at home
video store. I have to look because, like I said, the head writer is half Black, half white, and he has an interesting story, which is.
What to learn from. And while we can't be together in the ways we were before, we can share
I'll talk
those
in a minute.
shows with each other and connect over the stories.
I am
And that
Film Joe.
connection is priceless today.
I just need
Television
like
has always been
10,000
a
more
way to help us understand.
subscribers. Thank
There's
you.
the
I forgot to say
stories,
subscribe to
the
Black
artists.
Issues on YouTube so I
see
can get
how
to
that
1,000.
opens our
Thank
eyes
you so
and
much. If I
hopefully
had a
brings us
fucking
together
dollar
as
for
a people.
everybody who's like, you
In
need
the
your own
same
show,
way
like I
we
have
want
one.
to connect to each other, we can use
I want my own
television
show on
as a portal to each
HBO.
other's worlds,
Seriously.
hear each other's voices,
And this is like
and
not
to
even my
see
show. I'm
more
just being
clearly
me right now.
another perspective.
I have like
You've
all
done
these
more to
props and
widen
all
the
this
scope
other
of
stuff
television
craziness that I
than
do.
Tyler
This is
Perry.
like
This
really
year's
toned down
recipient
Canadian.
of the
I hold it right
Governors
now
Award.
with like a
The
really nice
Governors
lip.
Award is chosen by the Television Academy Board, a group of seasoned industry professionals
I just told
who
you.
dedicate their time to fostering excellence in television.
I just said the Academy
award is only given
seasons.
out
I
when
just
the
said it's too
recipients of
old. They're old.
organizations who has far exceeded the high standards of our media. Lending their voices to honor Mr. Perry.
I'm
are
gonna look
two
up
legends of
the producers of The
entertainment.
Watchmen. They're
Chris
mostly
Rock
white
and
men.
Oprah Winfrey. In life, we're given no guarantees. In our journeys, we face roadblocks and bumpy
Black
roads.
sideshow. Black sideshow.
Dedication to navigate the rough terrain that often life can give you, and still have the internal fortitude to believe in yourself. My friend Tyler Perry has done just that against all odds.
Oh, Jesus.
He is a man of deep faith.
Now,
He is a
I will
visionary
say Tyler
who is
Perry
led
does
by
not deserve
unwavering
an Emmy.
passion.
That
And
I
a
will say.
businessman
I
who
know I'm
bets
being
on
elitist and
himself,
classist and
by
everything
doing
else,
so,
but
shows
it's
the
true.
world that there's a different
His
path
shows are not
to
good.
ultimate success. Tyler is this year's recipient of the Governor's Award because he dreamed the impossible dream. He bared the unbearable sorrow.
I don't even know
and fought
what.
the unbeatable foe.
I don't know what to
run
feel right
where the
now.
brave dare not go.
What should I feel
Tyler
right?
Perry
What?
has done
Hold
what
on.
no one before him
Oh
has
my
accomplished.
God.
Make it in Hollywood.
What the hell? what's happening. I don't even know what. They're not even going to show any clips of his shows. They're only going to show him seeming like he's producing. What? No! This is what I mean by racism, that it stretches reality to the point where you don't know if you actually deserve an award or they're giving you a crumb so they can shut you up. And I don't believe this. I don't believe this.
Be a mighty motivator and a motivated Tyler Perry.
We are fucked. We are fucked. This is really, I'm pissed. I, as a black person, I'm pissed. Absolutely not. No. Just retroactively give an Emmy to the entire cast of In Living Color. Give it to Keenan Ivory Wayans. What? Oh, I'm fucking pissed. And I have a friend who told me not to curse anymore, but I'm mad. This is like bullshit. I cannot. I don't believe this. Hold on.
Would be represented in front of and behind.
I am up on my high horse right now. I am up on my high horse because I don't believe this.
Tyler turned his eye to television.
I don't believe this. The pink elephant in the room is that Tyler Perry is not. He's just making money. I can't. He doesn't make any money. It doesn't make no sense. I'm looking for one thing. Hold on, patience. 100 episodes. Hold on. It's gonna be worth your while. 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 Pigs are fucking flying. Pigs are flying. I don't believe this. I don't believe this.
Always found a way to make a way. Forever innovating, Perry decided to make his own way in Atlanta, Georgia. He purchased 330 acres of land and created Tyler Perry Studios. And the builder was once homeless, always kept
exactly. Thank you. I mean, like, I try to be very, like, regimented in my opinions. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever want to be too corrosive or caustic. But I love your comment. I think it's more. I think they're more doing it to Tyler because of the money. You know, it's more like he's made the money than it is like aesthetics. Like he actually can produce or storytell or because it's trash.
I want to say a very special thank you to the Television Academy.
I don't believe this.
To the Board of Governors.
I mean, I'm happy for him.
To Ari Emanuel. To
I don't know
Johnson,
what.
to everybody, Tyler
I'm melting
Studios
down.
And
I'm melting. I don't know.
This is amazing. I didn't expect to feel this way.
I don't know.
When I was about 19 years old, I left home, and my grandmother, she gave me a quilt.
I don't know what to do
that
anymore.
she had made. And this quilt.
He's gonna tell his origin story
I didn't really care
to inspire
for.
him.
Different colors and these different patches in it.
I don't know. I hate racism. I don't think I've ever hated racism more than I do right now.
The dog got wet, I dried him off with it. When I needed to change the oil.
He's doing the whole. He's doing the whole. I'm winning an award type of voice, and I'm talking, and I'm accepting something, and I'm gonna tell you the story.
I saw in the window.
I don't believe this.
Just like the one that she had given me. And as I'm in the store wondering where that quilt was, there was an attendant who walked up to me and said, "Let me tell you about this quilt. It was made by an African-American woman who was a former slave. And each patch in the quilt,
here we go.
Represented a
here we go. I as a black person can go a whole however long without talking about slavery. Not because I'm a slavery denier, but because that is also a very narrow vision and view of black people.
Our culture.
There's so much more to black people than the slave part. And here he come with his black egg.
Her work and her story because it didn't look like what I thought it should.
I don't believe
Now, whether we know it or not, we are all sowing.
Yes, he does get to accept this in person and talk about being a slave.
Experiences and our memories. Like in my own quilt, one of my memories when I was about 10 years old.
He's still talking.
I remember my father
still
at the door,
talking.
and I was wondering why he stood there so long. He was frustrated and he walked away, and I asked my mother what was going on. She said he had worked all week and he was waiting for the man to come and pay him, and he never did.
He's
they
still
needed
talking.
the money at the time. And I tell you, she was so frustrated, she turned to me and she said, "Don't you ever stand by a door waiting for white folks to do nothing for you." Now, you got to understand, my mother wasn't racist, but in her quilt, she couldn't.
Black people can't be racist. What do you? He's just talking.
The door for someone.
I tell
in
you,
her quilt,
this.
She couldn't imagine me actually building my own door and holding that door open for thousands of people. In my mother's quilt, she couldn't imagine me owning land that was once a Confederate Army base, where Confederate soldiers plotted and planned.
Yes, Tyler, and you made your billions of dollars by not challenging your audience to think critically about anything. Just like Madam C.J. Walker made all her money off of black people wanting to straighten their hair.
All coming together to add.
I need to throw up at this point. I'm just done. I'm done. I think I'm gonna literally auction off my blackness on eBay. I'm about to fucking do that. I'm done. I'm done. The Emmys just gave Tyler Perry some made up fucking award I've never heard of before. I'm about to auction off my blackness on eBay. You all can start bidding. I don't believe this. The Black Side Show. I said that that's what this shit is. I hate it because shut up! I can't.
But in my quilt, her grandson is being celebrated.
Thank you. Monique is better. Anybody else but Tyler Perry. Oh my God. That's a good point about Monique. Thank you, Film Store Review. You're too sweet, Film Joe.
What's in your wallet? And T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network.
This is my horse. I actually named my horse. Guess what I named my horse? Y'all can start to guess. Guess what I named my horse. Y'all have like a few seconds before I tell you. Tell me. Guess what I named it. And I have to find. I'm so upset. I'm so upset right now. I'm so upset. I'm just like, I don't believe. And remember that this was my actual question. Will any blacks win the Emmys tonight? I feel so betrayed. Like, you couldn't pay me $1 million. Like, literally, this shit happened in real time, and you and I are all shocked together about Tyler Perry. What did they? The Gatekeeper Award? What did they call? What award? What? I have no words. I have no words, because what I think this does. And I had this in my Instagram post. I was reading through all the comments. You guys are so amazing, by the way. So y'all are like great. So Film Joe, you're in the UK. So what are your thoughts about all of what you're witnessing, Film Joe? Because you're, what part of the UK are you living in? I went to London. I had a time of my life. I was like, I need to come and visit my original oppressors, because my last name is Holder. Definitely a British name. My parents are Trinidadian and Jamaican, and so yeah, I hung out in London. I didn't have a place to stay. I was at a hostel. I was sleeping. I met people. I actually ended up staying in King's Cross. I met up with Roy Ayers, Grammy Award winners. I don't know. I had a big booty. I don't know. People were just like, oh my God, who's she? Who's she? I want her around. This is how I live my life. Madness. So I had the time of my life in London. I had so much fun. Ladbroke, Camden. I loved it. I loved London. So just tell me where exactly you are. Monique was completely blackballed after her Oscar win because she demanded. Thank you. And that's what I'm talking about. I love the fact that y'all are like thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like really again, trying to make sense of an insane world, one issue at a time, right? So that's exactly what I'm talking about. The Academy is this thing. It's a well-oiled machine. And they don't want anybody putting a monkey wrench in it. Period. So it's just like, huh? What? Who are you? What? You talking too much? What? No. You're a liability. No. No, you don't belong. So, they're not. So you blackball Monique, but Tyler Perry, you give him this award. That was literally like, shut up, black people. Shut up, black people. Shut up, black people. I'd rather you give an award to somebody black that actually is the epitome of excellence, right? And, I've gotten to tons of heated debates, and I've lost some jobs over it, and I don't care, okay? Because I have actually been told by black educators to lower my expectations. So I've been in the classroom for over 15 years and, you know, in and out of the classroom. And I'm like, I'm not teaching anymore. Not because I don't love the kids, but because it's bullshit. Literally, you cannot hold Black kids to a high standard anymore. They'll literally tell you, stop it. They'll literally tell you, no, the kids are not going to read, so don't even bother. Literally, I have been told that. So what that means is that there is a subplot, right? There is the main plot, right, which is status quo. Just keep things the way they are, make everything look nice. Every once in a while, the Black is going to get upset. We'll give them a little crumb, right? And the subplot is they're never as good as us, and we'll never really fully accept them, and we'll never actually really bring them into our whatever institution it is, right? Everything is conditional. It's not unconditional. It is, we have the power to tell you yes or no, but the power is ours. So we're going to call you up. We're going to give you a little script, Anthony Anderson. Go rant on stage for a good 2.5 minutes. You can do that, but you're not going to win an award. So what I'm seeing with Tyler Perry is low expectations. Well, you want to be Black, you want to, you know, we need to find a Black to give an award to, because, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement is burning things down. So what can we do? Which Black can we give the award to? There's tons of Blacks to give an award to. Out of all the people, you want to give it to, and if you look at my post on Instagram, that's exactly, it's so funny because I posted it earlier today, and I was like, I want to see who's gonna get mad. I'm like, because I just tell the truth, and I don't care. I don't care who. I've lost jobs. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's gonna take. It's gonna take way more people not caring. And I always ask people, what is your price? What is your price? Because everybody could be bought and sold, right? You see Anthony Anderson bought and sold. Everyone could. Is that Boy George? Who is this? Who is this? Jeremy? Oh, Jeremy Strong from Secession. Okay, so he won. Oh, so that means he beat out Sterling K. Brown and everybody else. Ugh. I guess I was on my high horse again. Sorry. Where is it? So this is my post. Okay, here we go. I said, white award institutions have a history of awarding or rewarding Black performers doing demeaning roles. Done. I posted that two hours ago. So yeah, so that's what it is. It's like we want to keep the Blacks in their place, so they can only portray themselves in certain ways, and then you get the award. So let's say, for example, Danny Glover. Danny Glover is real, okay? Danny Glover has been wanting to produce a film about Toussaint L'Ouverture, the Haitian general that led the Haitian Revolution, kicked out the French in 1804, and led a slave revolt. Well, that's not going to get an Emmy. He doesn't even have the money to produce it yet. I wonder why. Because an actual story that shows Black people just sovereign. Oh, there goes my boy Billy Porter. Oh boy. So that means Billy did not win. Secession won. So, you know, I feel really good because HBO is like a behemoth right now. They're like fucking taking names, kicking it. I love HBO. I love Last Night with John Oliver. I just love HBO. So, but Billy, I think Billy should host next year. But I think that there's a threat to having, again, sovereign Black excellence, like without the ache, right? So when I say Black ache is a specter of Black pain with no solution in sight. Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, don't shoot, hands up. I refuse to do any of it. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Because it perpetuates this notion that the only definition of Blackness is pain and oppression, and Black people are, pain is one fragment, one carrot, one piece of the puzzle. But again, when you're the curators and you're in control of the narrative, you then get to say which shows get on air. You then get to say which shows get the Emmys. And then you also get to say which person gets to host the Emmys and which person gets to present. So that's what you see. And I find it bizarre. Again, I've been talking about race. I've been published about race, lecturing about race for over 20 years. And I compare racism to a stretched out rubber band. That it just stretches out and distorts reality to the point where you don't even recognize it anymore. Like, so again, in my practice that I do with Black issues, or just my art period for 20 years of talking about race, I talk about the obtuse and acute realities of racism, right? So sometimes it blows things out of proportion, aka Tyler Perry getting an award. And then sometimes it minimizes you and it gaslights you and makes it seem like you don't even matter. What are you talking about? Huh? Like, what's the problem? Acute. So sometimes it's obtuse and sometimes it's acute. So between the two, you can't really, I'm just texting someone. You don't really know your worth or your value in this society because I'm still on now. You don't really know your worth in society because, am I getting it because, they're giving me a crumb, right? And you're a cookie monster. Or are you giving it to me because you were so racist before, but, maybe your racism subsided a little bit and you're no longer blind to my brilliance. You can actually see my brilliance, right? So that to me is the biggest issue with racism, is that you don't allow people to fully be who they are. And then that means that you, when you're white, you don't fully know who the capacity or capabilities of who you are either, because you set up this whole system to always diminutize everybody else to the benefit of you to be whatever it is that you are or aren't, which could be mediocre, or it could be that you're great. Maybe Schitt's Creek is the best show ever because it won basically every award that Watchmen didn't win. And Watchmen only won 3 or 4 awards, right? Uzo won 1 award for Miss American, whatever. But Schitt's Creek won every award. What do you think of Ava? Tyler Perry's business as usual. I think so too. I again, and I'll get to Ava in a second, but let me just, I guess, tie this whole Tyler Perry debacle into a nice, neat little bow, and still have Mr. Mediocre Jimmy Kimmel just in the background taking up space on my screen. I think it's very unfortunate, and I got into an argument with somebody about this yesterday. Not an argument, but again, I whatever. I speak my fucking mind, and that's just that. And so y'all are really getting, so you all have not seen my shows before, so, and I don't have her hair with me right now, and it doesn't matter. So I've done this other, I've been developing all these characters. It's my whole praxis with dolls and emoji pillows, because we're just been infantilized and not really fully critically thinking. So Zendaya from Euphoria is up against all these other actors. We'll see what's going to happen. And I can't stand Euphoria either, which is on HBO, but I don't, whatever. Who cares? So I walked around earlier, this all going to tie into Tyler Perry. Walked around earlier this year. I've been walking around with, this is Allie the Ally. So she believes in Black Lives Matter. She takes these hands up, don't shoot. Black Lives Matter, Black Power. She believes in all of that, right? So the joke is that she's Nancy Pelosi's great granddaughter. So what show is this? Is Zendaya? What show is this? She looks great, whoever it is. It is her? It looks like Zendaya. Let me turn it on. Hold on. I know, breaking news. She looks great. I think it's her. So I'll definitely get to you about Ava Duva name.
Oh gosh, I just want to say thank you to the TV Academy, to all the other incredible women in this category.
Looks great.
I admire you all so much. This is this is pretty crazy. I don't really cry.
I watched Euphoria.
Thank you HBO and A24 for all your support.
I think it's real.
Thank you to my
I think it's
family
disturbing.
and my team who's all here. I'm really grateful to have all of you here. To the incredible cast and crew of Euphoria. I'm so lucky to go to work with you every day, and I'm inspired by everything you do.
Let's see when she gets into her speech, when she gets on her high horse.
I appreciate you so much. You're my family. I'm so grateful for Rue. I'm so grateful that you trusted me with your story. And I hope I can continue to do you proud. I know this feels like a really weird time to be celebrating.
So I have the dolls like this to show that, like, what of our children witnessing in this crazy world. It's a whole series I have with this.
TV show doesn't always feel like a great example of that, but
It doesn't.
The young people, and I just want to say to all my peers out there doing the work in the streets, I see you, I admire you, I thank you, and
doing the work. You mean fighting for racial justice?
So much. This is okay. Thank you.
A little disappointing. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like, you're a millennial, like. Maybe she's really shocked.
Purity as an Emmy. Our next presenter is here tonight with a little something for the nerds.
Let's see the Black Sideshow.
Emmy for outstanding writing for a drama series is Laverne Cox.
Good evening, everyone. I am living proof of the American dream that anyone in this country can lose the Emmy 4 years in the same category and yet somehow end up on this stage presenting an award.
Yeah, this is the Black Sideshow.
What happens to an American dream deferred? Does it shrivel up like a raisin in the sun? Stick to the script, Laverne. Stick to the script. And now, here are the nominees for writing for a drama.
How dare she defame
Peter Moore,
Langston Hughes's
Abervan, Jesse Armstrong,
prophetic poem, Dream Deferred, and conflagrated with her career. Black Sideshow. Black Sideshow. I love you, Film Joe. Y'all making predictions again?
John Shive.
Hold on. Because it's super heavy. It is super heavy. And I will get to all of your comments. And I love your, like, patience.
And the Emmy goes
The Emmy goes to, let's see. Succession is also another winner.
Jesse Armstrong, Succession.
Boom. You all right, Film Joe? So HBO basically cleaned up anything that wasn't Schitt's Creek. HBO won except for the Uzo Miss Americana, whatever that show was called.
Accepting this, I love writing for this show so very much, and for this
amazing
cast,
heavy, y'all.
amazing crew.
Heavy.
There's probably 300 people take a episode from script to put it on screen, and I'm going to thank every single one of them because that's polite. We're here in London and you can't stop us. So, I'd like to say thanks to Sam Dane, my old writing partner, who I've done so much with, to Frank Richard, put me into HBO, to Nick Richard. And,
he's not going to do it. He's not going to get on his high horse. He's not going to do a speech. He's just going to thank all the producers and then get off.
To my log and Scott Bergson, and I'd like to say thanks, of course, this is a writing award, to all the writers on Succession, and especially the ones.
I haven't seen Succession. I need to watch it. I think.
I want to thank Tony Roach, John.
I
Brand,
think HBO has a formula in terms of dramas about betrayal. There's also The Throne. That's all. I think it's called The Throne. That's also on HBO. About the Queen of Russia. That's also the same thing.
The great Oscar and Emmy award-winning director Steven Spielberg once said, "I don't dream at night. I dream at day. I dream all day, and dreaming for a living." In any other industry, that would get you fired for cause, but in Hollywood, it makes you a nominee for outstanding directing.
Why is he the host?
For a drama
Why?
series.
Why?
Benjamin Carey, The Crown.
Oh, The Crown. That's what I was just talking about.
Jessica Hobbs, The Crown.
I just said that.
Creed Kerr, Leslie Lincoln.
Or is it not The Crown?
Homeland,
I don't
Prisoners of War, Mimi Leader, The Morning Show, The Interview. Oleg Soharov, Ozark, Fire Pink. Ben Seminoff, Ozark, Sukasa es Mikasa. Andre Parkis, Succession, Hunting.
You think it's going to be Succession?
Mark Mylod,
Succession. This is not for tears.
It's gonna be Succession again.
And the Emmy goes to
Succession.
Audrey Parkett, Succession.
Bam. I think there's a certain, there's a certain thing that they like, and that's what's gonna win.
Held by this award. This distinction has been bestowed on my birthday, so thank you for this charm gift.
Yeah.
I want to thank HBO, Jesse Armstrong, and Tony Roach, and Adam McKay, and the entire ensemble cast. This show's been such a professional dream, starting as its cinematographer. And now this. I want to thank my beautiful wife, Sophia, my courageous daughter, Chloe.
I thought he was gonna get on his high horse and do a speech, right?
Brother Marco and Mom and Dad for the support always. I want to dedicate this Emmy to all the kids whose names, like mine, are difficult to pronounce.
Boom. Like
Kids
mine.
who don't look like their classmates and are defined as outsiders,
Bam.
as Native Americans.
Hello.
And not simply just as Americans. This is proof that you belong, and this Emmy is ours. Thank you, guys.
Wow. Oh, whoa. They had their times up in their Black Lives Matter. Okay, that was clear. All right, y'all. It's you and me. Bam. I'm gonna get to all your comments right now. So really quickly, Succession and Schitt's Creek are doing well. Yeah, it's the three: Succession, Schitt's Creek, and Watchmen. And that's pretty much like they pretty much obliterated every other show. Every other show got nominated, but it's just like no one won. Okay, so I've been doing this all summer. So Ally the Ally, how to be a the best way to be a white ally, right? So the whole premise of this is, again, Nancy Pelosi wore the kente cloth, remember, in the halls of Congress, and I was just like, what the hell is that? And so, and then everybody was in the streets, remember, in the summer when everyone was like, in the streets for Black Lives Matter. And I was like, okay, but they cut yeah, they did. It was like, and it was like, oh, right? Hilarious. Exactly, because again, not safe, not sticking to the narrative, and we are in control. So we can open up the valve a little bit and then we close it. That's what happens. They open up the valve and then they're like, oh no, and then that's it. I love it. Video store review. Hilarious. So anyway, my theory is that marching for Black people, it's like, well, what are you actually marching for? Are you only marching for police brutality? And Black people are more than a knee on a neck and being shot in the back, right? There's so much more to being Black, right? And so for me, I was like, well, if that's the only reason why you're out here, then, I'm not going to tell you to go home. But what I am going to say is you don't actually really fully understand Black people outside of the pity party, the Black ache. The only type of Black the only time that you want to speak on behalf of the Blacks is in condition, right? Under the condition that we are in ache, right? So Timbuktu was the first university on the planet. If you ever watched any Warner Brothers cartoons, they always used to make fun of Timbuktu. Oh, you're going to go back to Timbuktu as if Timbuktu was this random place. But again, controlling the narrative. Constantly keeping Black people in this like tacit, marginalized, again, listen to the vocabulary, right? In Australia, what do you call the indigenous people? You say they live in the outback. The outback, like way over the outback. Like, so again, this constant way of making Black people seem diminutive, acute, just as far away and as foreign as possible, right? So that's the reason why I have the dog, because I'm like, okay, no, you need to, in order to really truly be a white ally, you have to love Black people, love Black history, love Black culture. So I did all summer where I'd literally walk around with a dog, and I would do this whole thing where I'm like, okay, this is, because most white people are not around Black people. We Black people are around white people because we'll be the only Black at whatever. The dinner party will be the only Black. But how many times are white people the only white? And how many times are white people around Black people when Black people are just around themselves, right? Are you going to Black barbershops, Black churches? Are you going to, Black barbecue part? No, for the most part, at least in America, that's not how things, the millennials are a little bit more blended, but for the most part, that's not really happening, right? So like when you are around a Black person, that Black person isn't fully authentically themselves. They're showing up as, and they're playing the role of the only Black. That is another segment of someone's Blackness, is the only Black. And when they're not fully all the way themselves, it's this curated way in which they have to perform so that they're welcomed back again, because they think that they can only be a certain way in order to be welcomed into white company. And that is conditional. So all of this goes into the dolls and why I'm like, okay, you know, what would it be if I literally walked around and this doll was a real actual white person, and I'm like, okay, so we're out here right now, and there's kids on the block playing double dutch. Boom. This is what Black people do. We play double dutch. We have barbecues. We two-step. This is a whole nother world of Blackness that most white people are not aware of. And so I did this, and there's a little afro wig that usually goes on here, and that's why you see the little dots or whatever. And she's getting a little dirty. Trust me, I know. I have a onesie for her. We're going to put her on. Anyway, so I walked around like this, and hearing you talk is like music to my ears. So much. Oh, thank you. Yeah, my goal is to get on HBO. I feel like there's a lot of people out here not talking any kind of sense, being cute, twerking, whatever it is, and it's like, ugh, whatever. But you know, I'm consistent. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Y'all have been in like amazing ways. I love you, Black. So, like I said, so I walk around with a doll. And so, you know, when all the murals were going up, and I'm like, I wanted a revolution. I don't want no goddamn mural. You can save your paint, just like you can save your award for Tyler Perry. You can save that. Because that is not actually, number one, respecting Blackness, and number two, siphoning off any type of power. Anywho, so I walked around like this with the Black Lives Matter mural that they were painting in Harlem. I live in Harlem. I literally live 3 blocks away from where that what show is this? What we have to. Okay, so this is with Jeffrey Wright, for Westwood.
I tried to thank everybody who's been
you all are patient. Put a
Anyone
pin on what I'm going to tell, because it has to do with Ava DuVernay.
Call me and yell at me because I've been meaning to, and it has taken an army of support, and
so I guess he won.
And incredibly grateful, not the least of which the carrier and Jen Reese, media leader, and Michael and everybody at Apple.
Oh, it's an Apple TV show.
Opportunity, and I'm glad to deliver something for you. To the young people in my life, my glorious son.
He's not getting on his high horse.
My nephews, Ash, all my godchildren, Sasha and Guy. Please save us. Sorry to ask, but thanks in advance for all of your help. I love you.
That was so puny. Why are you putting the burden of saving society on young kids that are going to be traumatized, don't have real jobs? You see that shit? What?
You know, he said that he wanted to do the show. He told me he wasn't sure about it. I think he did it for the money. Oh, hi. Our next essential worker / presenter is a nurse from New York City, which would be a great show for you. To hand out the Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series, Katie Duke.
My name's Katie Duke. I'm a nurse practitioner in New York City. When the pandemic first hit, I woke up one day and I had body aches that were just crippling.
Whatever. I'm muting
I
it.
knew I had COVID.
I don't want to hear it. I'm just done. When the nominees come up, I'll unmute it. So I walked around with the doll, with the afro on, but again, I dress really well. I reek of a certain cachet and caliber of I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Don't fuck with me. I know. I've mastered myself and how I show up in the world. So I did that, and I've been doing it all summer, right? Where did I have an issue? Oh, with the Blacks. Oh, the Black people were the ones all up in my face. What are you doing? What is that? Why are you here? As if I don't live 3 blocks away, as if this is not a public art exhibition. right? And I said to them, I said, well, you know, there's white girls walking around with Black Lives Matter t-shirts. You're not questioning them as to the validity of whether they really truly care about Black Lives Matter. But I'm a Black woman walking around with a white doll with a kente cloth, and I know it does sound crazy, but like I'm the crazy one. And it's just like, well, number one, you don't have the guts to ever go up to a Black nanny that's taking care of a white child. You never do that, right? No, you don't. So how do you not know that what I'm doing is an interrogation of all of those narratives, all of those issues? Black people still being nannies to white babies. The Clark doll study, when they did a doll study with little children, and they said that the white doll was a pretty doll, the white doll was a good doll, the white doll is a doll that they want to sleep, they want to, you know, hug, and is more lovable. All of this I'm doing, but all of you who are here for Black Lives Matter, I'm the problem. I'm the target of all of this vitriol. So I did it on purpose, and I knew that that would happen because of the certain level, unfortunately, of narrow-mindedness of there's only one way to be Black. And it is stifling, and it is suffocating, and I don't even know who she is, whatever, and whoever won. And I'm here to like pull the rug out from that. And so I even got into a discussion with a woman last night who remembers me from over the summer. And she was like, yeah, what were you doing? And I was just like, honey, like, this is well-researched of like, again, critical race theory, and not just critical race theory because they're talking about it now. I've studied this for over 20 years. And I looked at her and I said, this is exactly the problem. That Black people would then be the ones to passive-aggressively police other people in and out of their own Blackness. Because you don't have power. You're not going to go up to somebody in the academy and say anything, right? Laverne Cox, Anthony Anderson, they didn't actually say to the white man who actually is the president of the academy, why don't you do this? No, because we have been conditioned to be on the periphery and to be satiated by crumbs. And so that's why you would have somebody like Tyler Perry get that award. Because Tyler Perry doesn't rock the boat. Tyler Perry creates content unfortunately, for Black people who are, I'm not going to judge, but like exhausted from 400 plus years of racial oppression and, you know, just want to sit and laugh. Low-hanging fruit. It's not written well. It's not even shot well. It's not none of the above. It's not shot well. It's not written well. It's not produced well. It's not taking you anywhere. It's, you know, in terms of like intellectually or historically, none of the above. None of the above. So you mean to tell me that the same academy that is going to award Watchmen several times, and the Watchmen is brilliant, and it's bringing up issues of racism and interrogates whiteness. So the same academy that is going to award multiple times the Watchmen for highlighting the perniciousness of whiteness in our society and how violent whiteness can be. So on the one hand, the same academy that's going to award Watchmen for that is going to award the most deleterious. I don't know what word to use. I don't know what word to use to describe how none of the words I can come up with are going to be positive words. None of them. And again, is he producing porn? Oh, well, I guess I'm shaming porn. I don't know. But I always have issues with John Legend. I feel like he's like, you know, it's like, well, he's not singing like suck and fuck music, but I never feel like John Legend is like, whoa, like blow me away. I think that it's a lot of hype, and I feel like there's a lot of mediocrity out there, and so by default, John Legend rises to the top. But if you compare John Legend to Teddy Pendergrass, I'm sorry. You compare John Legend to Isaac Hayes. You compare like John Legend to Luther Vandross, not gonna happen. Like you're not even gonna compare like John Legend to, you know, even like Bobby Brown musically. I'm not even saying Bobby Brown drug use celebrity wise. I'm talking musically. John Legend is just there. He's nice. right? So we're in an era where just by the nature of longevity and consistency, you kind of hang around, you don't offend anyone, then maybe one day you too can get an award. So that's what I think happened with Tyler Perry. And they're fine with him. He says that same speech every goddamn time he can. He says that same, my mama told me this, and if you had told me that I would have bought, the studio was a Confederate. He says the speech every time. He says it every time. And it's actually an empowering speech for Black people. Like, yes, you made that money. How did you make that money, though? You made that money literally what I would call like a regurgitation. To me, I'm going to go there. To me, Tyler Perry is like a mother bird that eats whatever it eats and then throws it up into the baby bird. That I it's just throw up. It's not it's just not that. What is this? That's what I think of Tyler Perry. But they're going to award him instead of saying, okay, let's actually apologize and atone for all the other Blacks that we have overlooked over the course of the Academy being the Academy. Well, we're not going to do that. But what we'll do is give a dog a bone. We'll just, that is offensive. Did you call Black people and ask Black people if that's what we wanted? Someone told me not to curse. I don't want a Black Lives Matter mural. I don't want names, both of Jean and Breonna Taylor on the back of a football helmet. And I don't want Tyler Perry getting an award. No. Because all of that keeps Black people in this perpetuation of Black ache, and it's actually low expectations. It is a narrative that leads to the death of my Blackcellence and the death of my sovereignty. That I can be brilliant independent of anything. I can't stand it. It's repulsive to me. I'm like very, and I really do appreciate that people are actually watching and commenting. I'm gonna get to all your comments now. And I have, where is he? I have now officially dismounted my own high horse. It's gonna do it. And this is actually my horse named Racism, because I'm going to raise money to buy a horse and run it in the Kentucky Derby, so that the announcer has to say racism wins, racism wins. I'm going to launch that on YouTube. Give me a year. Give me not a year. Give me like a little bit. Press the wrong button. Luckily, I don't have any porn on here. Blagedy. This is something else I talk about. The notion of just black tragedy. I can't. So I don't know what Jimmy Kimmel is saying. I'm going to read all your comments and then respond to them.
And Olaf, here to present the Emmy for Outstanding Drama Series, 2-time Emmy winner and double nominee tonight, Sterling K. Brown.
Oh, the Black Sideshow. Come out, look happy. Don't say too much about how hard it is to be Black. Watch. Woo! All that energy.
I did not see
BLM.
They told the Succession was a shoo-in. But This Is Us to win Best Drama in such an unbelievably loaded season. I'm blown away. And they said network television was dead. Okay, to our partners at Disney and NBC, back up the Brinks trucks, you cheapskates. We won Best Drama, and we ain't showing up to work unless we get some big-ass raises. Because this right here is an envelope. Why do I have an envelope?
Because it's the Black Sideshow. That's why. Y'all see this, right?
We weren't even nominated?
Y'all see this, right? That Black people are the sideshow. Step and fetch. I love you, Phil Joe. Watchmen will win. I'm so annoyed. This is the worst Emmys ever. You award Tyler Perry, then you have all these Black people just kind of looking all kinds of 50 shades of crazy. You have Black people looking 50 shades of crazy.
Succession.
The Crown.
The Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian, which I've never heard of before.
Stranger Things.
Oh, so Watchmen isn't in this category, but Succession is. So let's see.
The Emmy for Outstanding Drama Series goes to Succession.
There you go. So again.
Thank you very much indeed. This is.
I'll just mute it. Oh, I can't. I'm just gonna get to all your comments. The problem is money. Race has become a brand. Oh yeah, totally. So I talk about that too. Let me see if I have it. Yeah, woke washing. So I talk about that. Because I do diversity trainings, and so that's what's gonna happen. These corporations are just gonna they're just gonna act like they care about blackness, and put a few more black models. Like I went on Gap.com today, and it was just like black model after black model after. But it doesn't mean anything's actually is it going to be meaningful, lasting, tangible, lower black people's blood pressure change, because that's it. Our blood pressure is actually higher. Succession ended up winning. Love You Video Store. Watchmen won every. So it's Watchmen, Succession, Schitt's Creek. That's pretty much all the machinations of winning tonight. Pretty much. The problem is money. Race is a corporation. When, for example, black filmmakers tell stories about their culture and not race, boom, they don't get the money. Film Joe, I love you. That's what I was saying before in terms of Danny Glover wanting to produce a film about Toussaint L'Ouverture, and it's like or Walter. Thank you, Walter. You're telling me most definitely to what in particular? Because I've had some issues with Facebook and people not being able to watch on Facebook for some reason. So I don't know if you're like just now tuning in, or Facebook finally allowed your comments to come in and you're commenting on something that when I got on my high horse about Tyler Perry 80 minutes ago. So just let me know like where, like what you're agreeing with, or definitely think something and exclamation points. Just let me know. Tyler Perry, it's just ridiculous. So I guess it's done. Oh, so that's it. So I got to write my blog about the Black Sideshow. So that to me, the Emmys tonight, to me seems like, okay, it's officially done. Like how when you break up with a person, you don't actually break up with the person until like 6 months later, but like you knew there was something that happened in the relationship that shifted, that you knew was like irreparable, but you didn't have enough energy, verve, guts to sit there and say, okay, it's over. I got, I don't want to be in a relationship anymore. It takes longer. I feel like that Emmys is kind of like that Black Lives Matter thing. It's over. It's over. We had the foreplay of like, oh, y'all being in the streets, and then like, everything was good, and then you all started like rioting and looting and not shutting up, and it's now the fall, and like y'all are still yelling and stuff, and like Breonna Taylor, and like she got a lawsuit, and like you got an Emmy or two. Like, shut up. That's what I think. I think the Emmys is kind of like just nice, neat little bow of this whole Black Lives Matter thing. It's kind of like it's overdone now, kind of like a steak when it's overdone. It's like overdone now. Like we're done with that. That's what I think is happening with the Emmys, because I've been saying this about, and I am getting to all your comments about how they've been polling, and they were like, oh, are you still supporting the Black Lives Matter movement? And it's just like, well, number one, who did you poll? Because I have been living here for 40 years and I've yet to be polled about any of these things ever. Was never polled about Hillary Clinton, wasn't polled about Trump, and I'm not polled about Black Lives Matter. So who are you polling? Number one. Number two, what does it even mean to support the Black Lives Matter movement? Again, that is very conditional. Well, I support it until I don't support it. Well, what does support even look like? Did you give money? Are you in the streets? What does it mean to say you support So that basically means most of the people they polled are sitting on their couch watching the news every night. And, you know, sometimes they feel like, oh my God, that's so wrong. Like, oh, he got shot. It's really bad. And then 2 seconds later, like, oh, but they're rioting and they're looting. Oh, I don't like that either. No. That you could just kind of like be a backseat driver. Oh, this thing, Black Lives Matter. Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, I support it. Oh, you know what? Oh, no, I don't really support it anymore. So 48% support, 48% don't support. What the fuck is that? So they've already been, you know, threading the needle, you know, on this whole, like, wrap this whole Black Lives Matter thing up. And then you had what you had tonight with the Black sideshow for the Emmys. So, you know, again, they want to go, as I like to say, black to work, black to school, black to normal. They don't want these narratives to continue. Now, this shit is crazy. New York is crazy. It's really scary. I'm highly amused because I already had predicted that apartments, there was going to be white flight. It was going to be the end of gentrification, and white people going to move to the hills, and, like, you know, and they're like, have the balcony. So literally, I'm looking at apartments now with, like, balconies because the prices are falling. Right, rent. They're now giving you 2 months free. Like, you know, I saw this one apartment that is $1,000 less in a month. They cut the price $1,000. They dropped it $1,000 in a month. They're like, oh, and people are still not moving in. There's apartments with fucking, like, in buildings with doorman and a pool, okay, and apartment, a 2-bedroom for, I don't know, 3,800, 3,900, not renting. A big, like, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, kitchen island, top of the line appliances. I saw it today. Top of the line appliances, 3,900, not rented. Been on the market 80 days. New York is a shit show. So what happened here is somebody
that several hundred feet of the third rail were destroyed, at least 4 structural columns damaged, and the list continues.
A homeless man, I think, threw construction things on. Yeah, you can have your penthouse. Have it. Have your penthouse. That's what's happening.
This 30-year-old
there you go.
Man, Demetrius Harvard,
with throwing
eyewitnesses reported seeing him throw construction debris onto the
and derail the entire train. People got injured
trying to find another route home.
Wow.
Very frightening. Some of these very disturbed people, and you see bizarre, terrifying behavior.
New York is no joke.
So the latest update from the transit
it's so
system,
sad.
They hope to have the A line up and running by
tomorrow.
5 a.m. Well,
it's Monday, and there's children going back to school now. And you still want these children to go back to school? It's going to be so unsafe.
We are all keeping our fingers crossed. Also happening tomorrow, another heads up for commute.
All right, so let me get to all of your comments. You guys are the best audience ever. Keep the issue in the Outback. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Where it's just like, oh, yes, Film Joe. Yeah, you're helping me write my blog. Yes, exactly. That Black Lives Matter thing. It's just, we're done with that. Yeah, it's just as quickly as easily that, you know, again, with Obama. Oh, we're post-racial. No, we're not. It's this constant need to mitigate and marginalize any Black issue. That's why I call my show Black Issues, because it's so many issues. Let me get your comments. That's a good point. What does support? Yeah, what does it mean? It's because it's conditional. We support you until we don't support you. And what does support mean? Like, I don't need your support. I need the racial conditions to end. It needs to end. But instead of it ending, instead of you polling people, what do you think needs to change in America so we no longer need to have a Black Lives Matter movement? That's not the question you ask. You ask the question, do you support it or not? It's ridiculous. Do you ask people if they support the Anti-Defamation League when it comes to anti-Semitism? Do you ask them, do you support efforts for anti-Semitism? Like, of course they do. There's no debate about that. But for you to even ask, when I say you, I mean like the polling people, for them to even ask, you know, what's your position on the Black? It's because it's conditional. We'll support it until we don't anymore. And you know, your 15 seconds of fame is up. That's basically it. I don't even know what the story is right now. What are they talking about? I'm just curious.
To the risk and do what you think is comfortable.
Oh, back to school. Again, I used to be a teacher, and I got out because I knew that this is so sad. It's so sad. It's just so sad. Please request remove bra size. I have no idea what that means, and sometimes I get trolls. So it's probably a troll. And trolls to me are really interesting, and I of course I adjust my bra just because I'm like, what's happening? Sometimes I get trolls, and I think it's really interesting with trolls because it's just like, here I am minding my business in my own living room. Why do you feel the need, white supremacist troll, to troll me and defame me? It's the same thing that I keep saying, which is like, you don't want to give any space, any time to blacks. You don't want to do it. So it proves my point. And it's just fact. Every time I get trolls, I'm just like, because black people do that too, right? Black people are going out of their way to go on white YouTube pages, and like argue. No, we're not. We're not. We are on our own pages articulating our thoughts, but we're not on your pages trolling. But again, black people are on the defense, and whiteness, not all white people, but the phenomenon of whiteness, right? And white supremacy is on the offense. And that's why you'll find these trolls. And I'm just like, okay, but you're proving my point. Find something else to do. Support is just like charity. Yeah, it's just like, it's bizarre. You know what I'm saying? Because the question really is, what needs to change so that we don't need to be in the streets about racial injustice, because racial injustice has ended? What do we need to do as a society to end racial oppression and end it as quickly as possible? That's the question. But you're not even going to see that question because they don't actually want to solve the issue. Hence, I have my company is called Black Issues, because you don't want to actually solve the issues. You don't. You just want the people talking about the issues to shut up. Just the same thing with COVID. Just shut up. It's just like, I don't want to wear a mask. And you act as if by you saying and declaring, I'm not wearing a mask anymore, that COVID's over. So I've been saying this for like months. I'm like, America, the way America handles COVID is the same way America handles race. It just acts like it doesn't really matter. Like, we'll be fine. We're Americans. It'll work itself out. Like, calm down. Like, be happy. Go outside. Run around and play. Like, yeah. Same thing. And for me, I'm like, okay, when I see daily press conferences to address ending systemic racism, like there's daily press conferences to flatten the curve of corona, then we know we're doing something. Until then, that they don't really care. When I say they, all of them. Governor Cuomo, everybody who's a Cuomo fucking sexual, Governor Cuomo, none of them care. None of them truly care. Because if they did, there'd be daily press conferences. There would be charts. There'd be experts talking about all the measures that they put in place and all the data they're taking and all the measures they are doing to prevent systemic racism. You don't see any of that. So that's how you know they don't really want to end racism. It's just a thing where it's just like, I don't want to do it. So let me get to your last comments, and then, oh my God, I have to leave you all. And I have to stay in contact with you all. Can you all please subscribe, please? I'm not begging. It's probably my problem. But yeah, I'm not begging. But I'd appreciate if you all would subscribe to Black Issues. And I would love to stay in contact with you all, because you all are actually an amazing audience and asking so many amazing questions, and also bringing up some really dope issues like how they treated Monique and why the hell did Tyler Perry win? It's ridiculous. Let me get to them. I'd love to live in New York. Such a great, Film Joe. I don't know. If you want, you can email me and we can talk. It's blackissuesissues@gmail.com. I grew up in New York. I'm from New York. I live in a very central part of Harlem right now. I live like 8 minutes away from Apollo. Like, I live in a very iconic part. I live 3 blocks away from 125th Street. Like, I literally love where today I left my house. I saw that fancy apartment, and I was by Marcus Garvey Park. There was barbecues, there was music, there was dancing. I went to Whole Foods. I got some cucumbers. I love where I live. but I haven't been on a train. And this is me who like lives my life. Like, you know, I live a very fabulous life. Again, like I have a friend in the academy. We go see screenings. Like I work for the Public Theater, the same theater that produced Hamilton. I actually performed Black Issues at the Public Theater, ironically, right before COVID hit. So I used to be going downtown, going to the trains. Once in 2005, that New York doesn't exist anymore. My theory is that New York and then just the world changed. Like after 2005, like New York became really whack because of cell phones and smartphones and cameras. And it used to be just like you just left your house and you just did some shit. And now, like, you know, everything's fucking curated. An app will sit there and tell you what to wear. An app tells you where to walk. An app tells you like how to hail a cab. I'm just like, whack shit. Like, I remember like leaving my house with my friend, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning. We go party to 5 o'clock in the morning and then have no idea where the hell we were. Like, and that was still the case in 2005. But I think after 2005, clubs started doing bottle service, and it was more about money that was being made and like how much money you spent at a club versus like fucking dance. Like I remember like sweat. We would be drenched in sweat and leave at like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, like the time of our lives. But now, like after I'm like, so that New York that you visited in 2005, that shit does not exist anymore. It's just, and now because of COVID, like again, I have not been on a train since. I went on the train one time in July to visit the Occupy movements. That's it. Like I'm like at home. I'm home. I knew all this. I'm very good at predicting things. So I already knew, just like I knew that like gentrification was not going to be a problem and that white people were going to leave and they were like, have your balconies. Like I predicted that back in like March or April. I was like, oh, watch. The real estate market is going to tank even more. Like by December, my prediction is that they're going to be literally handing out keys just on the corner. Here, move in. Listen, by December, it's going to be so cold. COVID-19 is going to be raging again. And these realtors are not going to know what to do with themselves because no one, love you, Black. You're welcome. I love the fact that I get to talk to people. No one's going to want to move. It's going to be cold. It's going to be miserable. And those prices are going to tank even more. So by December, I'm going to move. I'm going to move into like an 8-bedroom apartment. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have a balcony. I'm going to have it all. You know, because like these millennials that moved into New York and are paying $5,000 a month, they're not real and they're not going to last. They're not built for this level of adversity. They can only do things because the app tells them so. So none of them, they're all going to flee and leave their apartments. And then once they're vacant, these landlords are going to get desperate because they don't want to start the new year with a deficit. So I'm very good at predicting things. So I also knew, because I went to Howard University in Washington, D.C., and I saw from 1997 to 2001 how quickly D.C. was gentrified. So I already knew that, number one, New York was going to be gentrified. But I had a feeling that Brooklyn was going to be gentrified more vigorously than Harlem, even though Harlem was gentrified first. And I was right about that. And I also knew that the shit was going to hit the fan, that some shit was going to happen that was going to be really, really crazy. And I was like, well, where can I live so that when the shit does hit the fan, I can walk and get everything that I need. And I can have access to all the transportation options so that when the zombie apocalypse happens, I can get out of Dodge and I can be on that last train to civilization. So that's why I literally live where I live, near every train, near every bus, near every highway, Metro North. I can get to Westchester. I can get to Yale. I had a fellowship at Yale. I literally walked to Metro North. It was like 3 blocks. And I was at Yale for my fellowship in like 2 hours. Pop. LaGuardia Airport is 20 minutes away. Like literally, I knew this was going. I didn't know it was going to be a pandemic, but I knew, because again, my parents are Caribbean. My father raised me kind of Rasta in terms of like my mentality about America being Babylon. So I already knew that something was going to hit in America, and I was like, where can I live so that I can be in control of everything that I need, so I can feel like, okay. I need to be able to get to the grocery quickly because I eat really healthy. I eat kale, so I have to get new kale like every 3 days. I need to be able to travel wherever the hell it is I think I need to be as quickly as possible. So that's why I live where I live. I have this my brain, like sometimes I think you've noticed it that I say something and it shows up on TV. It's some weird thing that I have where I'm like really like in sync with things. And I like, and time for me kind of like goes like this, like it's not linear for me, like it's like, and I can just like, oh, this is about to happen, this is what's gonna happen. It's a gift God has given me. So I love you all for watching, because then y'all are like an actual witness to it, because if not, then sometimes I think I'm going crazy, and I'm not. Yeah, but hit me up, Film Joe and Video Store, like Black. I'd love to continue the conversation. Like I'll probably go live again soon. I'll talk to Tracy. What is this breaking news? Let me hear.
Air. New guidance says the virus can spread through respiratory droplets, or small particles like those in aerosols. Those are produced just from breathing.
Yeah.
Previously, the CDC said COVID was spread by droplets from an infected person who coughs, sneezes, or talks.
What?
Meanwhile, a staggering milestone for the...
I don't even know what that means anymore. Yeah, so please subscribe to Black Issues and hit me up. I'll probably do another one, like I said, with Tracy, because she's in the, I mean, I have to ask her like in terms of like transparency, like to the degree to which she can divulge anything. But I will probably have Tracy on to do a debrief and unpacking of the Emmys soon. So watch out for that. And if you subscribe, you'll get the notification when I do that. And it's good because like tonight I was like, should I get on? Should I not get on? You know, I beat myself up. I'm so weird. I'm really powerful and I show up and I have like absolutely no fear, but I also like get into my head sometimes of like, what am I doing? Should I do it? Never did it. It's not perfect. So I really thank you, because like sometimes I'm like, I just get in my head. It's like, shut the fuck up. And just go live. You know, sometimes I'm in my head and it's just like, it's a gift, right? And I have to like share my gift with whoever shows up and watches. So like I have to get out of my own way and share my gifts with whoever. So thank you all for thanking me for sharing my gifts. So is that the first win for the Ozarks? Yeah, I think they only won one, maybe two tonight. Good question, Video Store. I have to, you know, again, I'll read whatever summary of like the winners and losers for tonight is, and then I'll do like my dispensation of, you know, the Black sideshow that was the 2020 Emmys. Ridiculous. So I got your comment about the problem with money and the brands. Interrogate the narrative. Yeah, you got it. It's like, what is this? You got it. You know, I used to tell my students when I was a teacher, and I was like, ask a question. What do you want me to know? See, I'm gonna cry because I do miss my kids. Like, I used to have so much fun with them, and they watch me on Facebook Live. They actually still like, I only talk about politics, and these kids are still, they watch me. And it's not, yeah, they still, my former students will literally like watch my lives sometimes and like comments and everything, because I used to have like real conversations. So I used to tell them, like, when you're taking a test, right, like, don't just look at the question, but all right, and move on. Like, like, try to figure out what the question actually wants you to know, so once you know what the question wants you to know, then you can find that information and answer it. But if you're just looking at the question, you're like, I don't know what that is, then it's like, well, like, you're a part of the process, right? Like the test isn't being done to you. You're taking the test, right? But so be active as a test taker, and be active in terms of like all these narratives as well, right? Like, what the hell is that? You know, when you all saw that the Black Lives Matter thing, and with one of the award recipients was like real quick, you know, like, what the hell is that? You know, like hearing you makes, it's like music. I'm so powerful, so sweet. I should screenshot that. Thank you. That's what I think. To God's ears and HBO producers, so that I can have my own show. I'm gonna screenshot. Well, I can't screenshot because it's gonna look ugly, because you're gonna see my hands screenshotting it. There you go. I'm so silly. Succession, Schitt's Creek. So what do I think of Ava DuVernay? Boom. That's what I needed to get to. So I love Ava DuVernay. I think there's something to be said about a body of work that doesn't necessarily pin the tail on the donkey of whiteness, but does clarify the effects of systemic racism in a very vivid way. So I do like Ava DuVernay for that. Again, Ava DuVernay, Keenan Ivory Wayans from The Living Color. There's so many more. Jamie Foxx. There's so many more Black people that they could have given an award to. So why Tyler Perry? And I compare Tyler Perry to Madam C.J. Walker. It's like, yeah, you made all that money, but how? You made that money profiting off of Black people's pain, Black people's inability to fully be who they want to be. Because, like, you couldn't pay me to be on some show reading them scripts. Like, I know God just told me not to say that. I feel like when God is like, don't say that. I feel it. So I felt God, don't say that. You're talking yourself out of a opportunity. I heard God say that. So there goes my law of attraction. But I guess you understand what I'm saying in terms of, like, you know, there's something to be said. And, you know, and I get into, you know, I guess debates, whatever, with my friends about that, you know, there's just Black people who they just like Tyler Perry, you know, I don't know. My friend is a BAFTA member, and the stories he can tell are Please, Film Joe. Please, oh yeah, no, I get it. I can read. Sometimes I when people give typos, like, I totally understand what they're saying anyway. So I get it. Yeah, please keep in touch, Film Joe, because I really appreciate that. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I'm sure, you know, all of these, and that's why I said in my Instagram post, all of these institutions, they all operate the same way, you know, which is, it's an honor and a privilege that we're going to bestow upon you, but it's conditional based on our little metric here, you know, of like what we think, you know, you are or could or should be, you know. So, you know, the power of curation, that's also a silencing, you know, because you're amplifying some voices and you know, you've made others disappear. You've muted others. I met Ava at Cannes in 2018 when she was a member of the jury of for my short film. Oh my God, I wore a t-shirt with her name on the record. Film Joe, I love it. Oh my God, huge. So I want to know more about your film. Oh my God, this is God. This is God telling me, shut up, you know, get on YouTube, get on Facebook, do what you do. Yeah. Wow. Beautiful. So I definitely want to know more about your work and video store review as well, because like y'all are really like, you know, in it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are like, you know, like nerding out on all of this content about the Emmys tonight. So I really, really, really do appreciate it. So I'm your host, Canadian Eye Holder, Black Issues. I'm the anti-racist personal trainer to knock out racism in all of its vestiges, including in the academies. And my goal is to entertain, engage, inform, and inspire millions of people throughout the world. So I really, me and my Christian Dior mascara, I really want to thank all of you for watching tonight, for commenting tonight, for laughing tonight, for crying tonight, for being shocked with me about Tyler Perry, like for bringing up Monique, for mentioning and uplifting, you know, the space that Ava DuVernay has carved out for herself. I value it all because I feel like, you know, I'm not about cancel culture per se. I mean, and even with all my high horse about Tyler Perry, I'm not in the business of canceling Tyler. You know, he serves a purpose. I said that with a lot of shade, but I just feel like he didn't. That's not what we. I don't know. in the quest to end racism, how white people show up and the decisions that they make, I think sometimes are totally incongruent with what Black people actually want in order to end racism. It's like, well, you know, that's not, I didn't ask for that. Like, did you ask any Black people if that's what we wanted? You know, so, you know, you know, and I think people do that sometimes, you know, like, well, you know, they hang out with you and you might complain about something, and then next thing you know, oh, well, here, I solved your problem. Well, I didn't ask you to do that, though. I don't, you know, it's like their version of solving your problem versus like talking to you about what you would want, you know? That's what I think. So I love you all so much for watching and tuning in. I'm all about having brave conversations about issues and solutions that directly impact the Black community. I'm all about creating a safe space for everyone to feel heard, validated, and respect is like a core to the way that I operate. I'm always this way. I'm this way 24 hours a day. With whoever it is that I don't treat celebrities any better. I don't treat homeless people any worse. I really am like a very authentic person. That's like really the pillar of how I operate. Giving Tyler Perry that award is like saying, this is the direction we want you to go. Couldn't say it any better. Couldn't say it any better. Because if you look at how Anthony Anderson, Laverne Cox, I'm sure whatever the hell they had Tracy Morgan say, even though when he was on, my TV was muted, it was in this like circus, like over the top, ignorant Black kind of performance, kitschy. It was very. It all those times that they came out, it looked like Tyler Perry wrote those things for Anthony Anderson and for them to say, just like, huh? Like it just felt uncouth. It was just, it made me cringe. It just made me feel small. I was like, I don't know, no. So you're totally, yes, and that's exactly what I was talking about with like, when you want to give an award, what are you rewarding? You know, I think that's the question. What are you rewarding? What are you amplifying? What are you creating a lane for? You know, because In Living Color was so good. It was so good. It was undeniable, right? I don't know. So I love you all so much. If I say on any more, I will just, then y'all will be with me all night long. All night long. All night. All night. All night long. So if y'all can continue to comment, I love you all for watching. Please reach out, blackissuesissues@gmail.com. I'm also on Instagram, Black Issues Issues on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, Black Issues Issues on Facebook. I'm also on GoFundMe, Black Issues Issues on GoFundMe, Black Issues Issues Cash App, Black Issues Issues Venmo. My goal obviously is to create my own show, like talk show, late night talk show actually. Oh man, Film Joe, of course. This is an honor having you all. I'm always like this. I'm always like giving love. Yeah, in the 30s, they'd have Blackface today. Ooh, yes. Film Joe, who are you? Thank you. Yep, that's exactly it. You know, they're not about the full gamut of Blackness. It's just, this is what we want it to do. You know, it's just, I don't know. Love you all so much for watching. Stay blessed. Stay grateful. Stay humble. And stay true to you. Your body is a temple and your mind is a terrible thing to waste. So under all circumstances, I always say this at the end of my shows, stay smart, sharp, and savvy to navigate the madness. Okay, this has been like the blessed, like best broadcast ever. Okay, bye.